Is there any feeling more intoxicating than getting a text that says, "Hey, I can't make it tonight," when you already had your pajamas on? For most people, a canceled plan is a disappointment. For you, it's like winning the lottery. Society has a lot of labels for people like us: boring, antisocial, flaky. But while the world is busy chasing the next loud high, science suggests that your preference for the four walls of your home isn't a weakness, it's a sophisticated biological calibration. You aren't avoiding life, you are curating it. Today, we're looking at the neurobiology of the homebody. We're going to explain why your brain works differently and why your quiet life might actually be the ultimate power move. If you're the type of person who finds more excitement in a deep conversation or a solo hobby than a crowded room, you've finally found your tribe. We explore the psychology of the quiet, the introspective, and the misunderstood. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Let's reclaim the narrative for the introverts together. Let's start with the why. Why does a party that energizes your best friend leave you feeling like a phone on 1% battery? It comes down to something called optimal arousal theory. Every human has a sweet spot for stimulation. Extroverts have a high threshold. They need the noise, the crowds, and the chaos to feel normal. Without it, they feel understimulated and bored. But for you, your nervous system is naturally high gain. You're already at that sweet spot. When you add loud music, small talk, and bright lights, you go into over arousal. Your brain starts to fire too many signals, and your body reacts with wanting to retreat. Home isn't just a place to sleep, it's the only environment where your sensory input matches your internal pace. It's your charging station. There's another layer here: control. In the outside world, everything is unpredictable. You can't control the volume of the person at the next table, the scent of the room, or the emotional demands of strangers. For the highly sensitive person, this isn't just annoying, it's exhausting. At home, you are the architect of your universe. You control the lighting, the playlist, and the vibe. This isn't about being a control freak, it's about emotional regulation. And here's the science most people miss: the dopamine gap. Research shows that extroverts are more driven by dopamine, the reward chemical. They get a hit from meeting new people or taking risks. But introverts tend to prefer acetylcholine. This is a different neurotransmitter linked to the pleasure of internal reflection and deep focus. You don't need the world to provide the fireworks because your inner world is already putting on a show. We tend to romanticize the hustle and the networking mixer, but history tells a different story. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in human history didn't happen in a boardroom or a bar, they happened in solitude. Studies show that people with a high preference for solitude tend to be more creative, more introspective, and significantly better at complex problem solving. When you're staying in, you aren't doing nothing. You're processing, you're synthesizing, you're dreaming. While everyone else is performing for their Instagram stories, you're building a relationship with the most important person in your life: yourself. Now, we have to be honest. There is a fine line we need to talk about. Is your home a refuge or a cage? If you stay home because it fills your cup and gives you peace, that's health. That's self awareness. But if you stay home because the thought of the door handle fills you with terror, or because a voice in your head says no one wants you there anyway, that might be social anxiety or depression. Peace is a choice, hiding is a reaction. It's important to ask yourself: am I staying in to move towards peace, or am I staying in to run away from fear? Knowing the difference is the key to mental freedom. If you've spent years feeling guilty for saying no, let this be your permission slip to stop. You aren't broken. You aren't a hermit. You are simply wired for depth over noise. You find joy in the way the light hits your bookshelf at 4 in the afternoon. You find thrill in a morning coffee ritual that no one else sees. You prefer the comfort of a rewatched show because it's a warm hug for your nervous system. In a world that won't stop talking, there is a quiet bravery in choosing silence. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is that one at-home ritual that makes you feel most like yourself? And if you found value in this breakdown, please subscribe and share this with that one friend who always cancels plans. Let them know you finally understand why. If you want to dive deeper into the psychology of why we avoid people, click the video on the screen right now. It's going to challenge everything you thought you knew about your comfort zone. Stay quiet, stay curious. I'll see you in the next one.